Okay, so with that said, let's go to common myths. I just want to get this, the same thing we had on the last lecture, but I just want to, you have it. Myth, muscle full effect, 20 to 25 grams of proteins all the body can use at one time. Actual, we already did this, depends on your size. The muscles worked, because when they originally did these studies, they would just do a biopsy of your bicep after you did a bunch of curls. They saw that after you got 25 grams of protein, the protein was just burned for energy. Okay, well, you only work the bicep. If you're working thighs and legs and you're working the whole body, obviously that's going to change. But the bottom line is that's the number. If you really want to split hairs, that's the number. Otherwise, just do anywhere between 25 and 40, depending on age and how much you're working out. Okay, high protein hurts kidneys and bones. So this is something left over from the 80s. And surprisingly enough, I actually hear somebody say that once in a while, that it could happen. If you're a healthy person, the actual is, we know that 4 times the RDA has been shown safe over a lifetime. You know, so in healthy people, and may actually improve bones, let alone not hurt. So again, those are myths that still linger out there a little bit. We're way past that now. Okay, now casein builds more muscle during sleep. Well, and the reason for that is, you know, whey protein is digested immediately in the body. Casein actually clogs in the body. It takes a lot of time to break it and get it through the stomach, so it releases over time. So that's how people started testing that. But at the end of the day, there's not enough data to support that, and you're splitting hairs. I guarantee if you drink some whey before you go to bed versus casein, that nothing's going to change over a year. I'd be shocked if that happened. All right, myth. Vegan can build as much muscle as as much muscle. And if you didn't learn this today, yes, they can. But more nutrition combining and supplementation without a doubt. Caffeine is an endurance ergogenic aid only, and that's what we thought for years. You know, all of your endurance athletes use caffeine. In fact, it works so well to improve performance for endurance athletes, it's actually limited in the Olympics. There are people that can't drink it because they have adverse reaction, so they have to limit the amount because it gives you a super advantage to use caffeine. But we've also learned now that it's way more than that. You look at the latest meta-analysis, it confirms that it has ergogenic effects across the board in every sport and everything. And it's pretty amazing. And those are the numbers, 1.3 to 3 milligrams per pound, about 60 minutes before. Because it actually reduces, you know, the rate of perceived exertion. So which means you just work harder because you just feel stronger. It has nothing to do with it, you know, pushing your muscles harder. It has to do with the way you feel, you know, in the workout. So that's why it works for almost any sport all the way around. Timing isn't important. And I hear this once in a while, like, oh, it doesn't matter how it's timing, just get the same amount of protein daily. Yeah, that's definitely it is. If you want to maximize muscle protein, if you're an average client, it's not that important. But why wouldn't you do it? I go, you know, you need the gram per pound, so why wouldn't you take protein before your workout and right after? Who cares if it really is making a difference or not? You need it anyway throughout the day. So you might as well do that. So that's the argument against someone that might say something like that, but we do know that timing is very important before and after a workout if you want to maximize muscle protein synthesis and especially recovery. Okay, and I put this in here, little to no evidence for efficacy or safety for muscle gain. I listed all these products. You see them in the stores. These are things that people tend to buy because they see them in muscle magazines. You know, you can see people that write the science behind these things. That's really cool, and they sound really smart, you know, in the way they do all that. And people read it and they go, wow, yeah, that must work because this guy's really smart. But there are no studies to prove that any of this stuff works. They are not considered evidence-based. Remember that. That doesn't mean something might not end up being evidence-based, but there's no, at this particular time, they do not fall in that category. Very few supplements fall into ergogenic evidence-based supplements, and I listed those earlier, and those are the only ones, obviously, that we make.